Hi, Harry. You wanna ask anything? Oh, happy Holi. Yeah, चलो ठीक है. So what we are going to read today? कैसे चल रही तैयारी आप लोगों की? प्रथमेश, ज्योग्राफी नहीं हुआ है क्या? And there are few students who are from very old batches, so I am asking them. क्या issue है? Anyway, let's come to our discussion. So today we will continue from where we had left in the last class. Indian geography. So not Indian geography, class 6 geography. A little bit of in this chapter we will read about Indian geography as well. शायद क्लास चैप्टर नंबर 7 में है थोड़ा इंडियन ज्योग्राफी के बारे में. Okay, let's talk a few things before we start. Okay, about before we start geography. कुछ चीजें हैं जो बात करनी है, तो इनके बारे में पहले थोड़ा सा ब्रीफली बात कर लेते हैं. About your note making, I think we have talked enough about it, but still again re-emphasizing. Yes, make notes. Yes, you will make bad notes. So redo, remake your notes. Notes initially will be very lengthy, and it's okay to make lengthy notes initially. You have sufficient time with you, you make notes. Later you revise that notes, you add things to it, you remove things from there. uh, Try to make notes on A4 sheets. Do not use, now all of you are UPSC aspirants, so if anybody still is using lined paper, then तुम किसी और दुनिया में हो. Start using A4 sheets or without line copies, मैथ वाली जो कॉपी आती है. तो unruled copies you have to use for writing anything, not just note. Whatever you're writing, make it a practice, because most of you, when you will start writing on A4 sheets, you will start writing here and will end up here. Some of you will start writing here and will end up there. ऐसा हो रहा होगा बहुत लोगों के साथ ना. ये एग्जाम में नहीं होना चाहिए. ऐसा हो रहा है क्या? ट्राई किए तुम लोग? दिल्ली से पहुंच के शुरू करके कोलकाता पहुंच जाते हैं. हाँ, तो अभी इसके लिए थोड़ा सा प्रैक्टिस इज इम्पोर्टेंट. सो डू द प्रैक्टिस एंड स्टार्ट राइटिंग A4 line. It's A4 sheets without line copies. So, and make notes on A4 sheets where you can revise if anything, if there is anything wrong, you can add a new sheet. If you have new information, you can add new sheets. And one more thing that you should do is, when you have made the note, you take the snapshot of your notes and store it. Preferably, I don't know how many of you are using Evernote. सबने नाम सुना है Evernote का? So there is a very good note keeping app. This is also accessible on websites. You just type evernote.com and you will get there. So use Evernote to record whatever you are writing in digital form. The good thing about Evernote is you are prone to lose devices, data erase हो जाएगा, उड़ जाएगा, corrupt हो जाएगा. So many things are there. Evernote keep the things stored. So even when you change the device, it will be there. So write the notes, scan it, and store the PDF in the Evernote. Or you upload it to some other cloud wherever you think it's okay. You can use OneNote on Windows if you have. That's also good. There's a app called Google Keep, so you can use that as well. But use any of these few apps to take keep your notes. Very effective, and it's long run. It's very helpful. नोट्स का क्या होगा, वो फिजिकल नोट्स कभी खो जाएगा, उड़ जाएगा, पन्ना फट जाएगा, तुम अगर शिफ्ट कर रहे हो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह, यू विल लूज समथिंग समवेयर, तो पता नहीं क्या कहाँ है. सो डिजिटलाइज वट एवर नोट यू आर मेकिंग. नाउ अक्षता सिंह क्या वेडनेसडे को ऑप्शन पर क्लास लेने को बोल रहे थे. हाँ, मैंने एक सेशन लिया भी था, बट वी हैड केप्ट दैट वेरी स्मॉल. द लिंक वाज शेयर टू वेरी फ्यू ऑफ यू. किसने ज्वाइन किया था वेडनेसडे वाला सेशन ऑन ऑप्शनल? इस क्लास से किसने ज्वाइन किया था? श्रीन एंड ऐश्वर्या ने ज्वाइन किया था. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा हम एक बार क्विक रिकैप करते हैं अबाउट ऑप्शनल. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव डिसाइडेड योर ऑप्शनल, लाइक फिक्स कर लिया है कि यही करना है? फ्यू ऑफ यू. सेजल, क्या है ऑप्शनल आप लोगों का? सेजल, वर्तिका, अंकिता, विस्बत, वर्तिका सोशियोलॉजी, सेजल सोशियोलॉजी, रेजिंग. रेजिंग, यू आर ऑलरेडी डूइंग सोशियोलॉजी विथ मी ना? रेजिंग, आप तो कर रही हो सोशियोलॉजी. एंथ्रोपोलॉजी, एंथ्रोपोलॉजी, सोशियोलॉजी. ठीक है, चलो एक ब्रॉड आइडिया मैं देता हूँ कि क्या ऑप्शनल कौन सा चूज करना चाहिए और कैसे चूज करना चाहिए. थोड़ा सा, दिस विल टेक about 10 minutes, and then at length we will have another sessions and there we will be discussing at length. देखो, पहले तो कि ऑप्शनल कब से स्टार्ट करें. ठीक है, ऑप्शनल के लिए कब सोचना चाहिए कि मुझे अब ऑप्शनल ले लेना चाहिए. Those who have just started, like those who are in NCERT batch 12, अगर आपका कोई बैकग्राउंड नहीं है, यू डू नॉट हैव एनी बैकग्राउंड of UPSC or have not started before, because many of the people who have already given exam also come to the NCERT batches. So if you do not have any previous record, you can delay your option selection for a bit now. You don't take anything in hurry. इससे पहले के जितने लोग हैं बैच 12 से, और those who have spent some time with NCERTs, who have some understanding about the structure of exam and all, you should now start looking for कि which optional to take. Now ये देखो, toppers come from all the options, almost all the options. I should not say all the options, but most of the options toppers come. People get qualified from all the options. एक हो, दो हो, पांच हो, बट करते हैं, और वो कर सकते हैं means everybody can do, at least theoretically. If they can do, then anybody can do. So inherently there is not lot of difference between the two options. लेकिन there are few options which are no go zone, जिनके बारे में नहीं सोचना है until unless you were really 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 good in that. लाइक तुमको लगता है कि सब्जेक्ट का तो मुझे सब पता है, आई कैन डू इट, ओनली देन यू गो इनटू दैट. नो गो जोन मेरे लिए क्या है? Engineering subjects, mechanical, electrical, and civil. These are no-go zones until unless you are doing masters in this or you have prepared for Indian engineering services, you have very good scores in GATE and all. नहीं तो इसमें नहीं जाना है. Science subjects, this includes everything: physics, chemistry, botany, zoology, conventional science. This is a no-go zone for me because resources are few, guidance is very few, and when you are competing, especially in physics, chemistry, you are competing with very extraordinary students. So my friend Subham, मैं उसको बुलाऊंगा किसी दिन क्लास में. He did it with physics. Rank 130 he got in physics, but he is exceptional in physics. He has done his graduation from IIT खड़गपुर. उसको बचपन से physics पसंद है. उसका मैथ्स अच्छा है. So for him it is easy. And if you also take physics, you keep in the mind that you are competing with such students. They already have a head start, an upper hand over you. Botany, zoology में the problem is that you will not find good guidance. कहाँ से start करें? बहुत rare है teacher या guidance भी ढूंढना. Teacher तो भूल जाओ. For me, these are no-go. The third no-go zone is literature subjects. English, Hindi, Marathi, and you add all the language in this. This is a no-go zone because syllabus is simply too vast. So until unless you are from these subjects, you have done your graduation, you have done your masters in these, and you have read that, you have covered your graduation masters syllabus अच्छे से, ऐसा नहीं मजे मजे में. I know one of my students से पूछ रहा था, his English was very poor, and I come to know कि he has done English graduation. भाई तुमने तो English graduation किया, तुम्हें English क्यों नहीं आती? मैं कि सर मैंने हिंदी से English graduation किया है. लोग हिंदी से English graduation करते हैं. अगर if somebody is doing that तो फिर मत आओ इधर. It's not your field. Too vast syllabus. Now problem क्या है? Too big syllabus. I am again mentioning कि too big syllabus. What's the problem with a bigger syllabus? It's not just कि this syllabus will take you more time to finish. You may finish it. You are too much interested and you're like, I will read geography day. I will read English or his Hindi day in and day out, and I will finish the syllabus. But the problem is कि with all the subjects which has big syllabus, you only have 24 hours in a day and you only have 1 year or 1.5 years to prepare. If you take a big syllabus, big subject, you have to give it more time, and that time will come out of your GS preparation. तुम अगर यहाँ ज्यादा फोकस करोगे तो जीएस पे फोकस नहीं कर पाओगे. सिंपल. तुम्हारे पास डेली पढ़ने के लिए 12 घंटे हैं. इफ यू आर वेरी डेडिकेटेड एंड यू आर गिविंग 6 to 8 hours ऑन योर ऑप्शनल, तो फिर जीएस कौन करेगा? कब करोगे? सो it affects your marks. Then we have maths. Maths is again is a very tricky subject. You can score very high marks here. So what strategy math optional students do? Like again, I have many friends who have qualified with maths. Their strategy is simple: that I will score 350, 380 marks in optional, and it's some people have scored 350 in maths. There is no other optional where people have scored 350, and they think we will give 8 hours, 9 hours per day to mathematics and we will give lesser time on GS, but we will compensate that marks in optional. तो 50 marks इधर ज्यादा आ गए सबसे, तो यहाँ पे अगर 450 के बदले 400 भी आ रहा है, 350 भी आ रहा है, तो it will be compensated. Again, if you have really good interest in this, then you go and all the problems of mentor and all you will find the same. So these are some of the subjects which I say students not to go. Then there are some technical subjects, like technical in the sense ki it needs specialization, so law or agriculture. If you are from law background, you go with it if you think you are good in it. अब तुम किसी छगनमल कॉलेज के किसी से कहीं से तुमने लॉ कर लिया है and you have never opened a book and you have gone to pass the exam like that, तो फिर it doesn't make any sense. Agriculture, again, if you have done it diligently, go with agriculture. अब क्या बचता है? Now we are essentially left with only humanities subjects, and the subjects that we are left with we can classify into certain categories. So let's suppose first PSIR is one of the very popular subjects. Sociology, again one of the very popular subjects. Geography, anthropology, history nahi, geography, anthropology and PubAd. Then you have history, economics, then you have maths and all other subjects like that. Now my choice of preference is in a decreasing order from this side to this side. This year, this PSIR, sociology is, for me, these are the go-to subjects. अगर कुछ नहीं है तो you go with these subjects because the syllabus for both of them is short. Again, sociology is the shortest. No, इसमें और कोई competition नहीं है, कोई इसका वो नहीं कि मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि shortest है दूसरे बोलेंगे कि नहीं shortest है. This is the shortest. That was the reason because of which I choose sociology. So sociology, short syllabus, you can cover in less number of time, then you can give a lot of time on your GS preparation. One thing that many of you have heard about is overlapping. Overlapping is कि किस सब्जेक्ट का GS में कितना पोर्शन आता है. So if I talk about sociology only, it has overlap in GS paper 1. It has overlap in GS paper 2. It has overlap in GS paper 4. One essay is surely going to come from here. So again, from there you can count 125 marks. So one essay is always from sociology. On the top of all this, what I consider that sociology does not need any special attention. You start doing sociology, you do not need any kind of background. From the first day onward, you can understand the subject pretty easily. तुमको इसमें कुछ बहुत डेप्थ में जाके कुछ ऐसा बैकग्राउंड नहीं चाहिए. You are a doctor, you are an engineer, you are a lawyer, or you are just doing your graduation. सबको समझ में आता है क्योंकि this is something that we see every day in society. So if you will see the chapters in sociology, क्या क्या पढ़ते हैं, we have to read 6 thinkers, just 6 thinkers. Now you compare this with other subjects. PSIR list is endless, कितना पढ़ना है पता नहीं. You compare it with history, you compare it with geography, endless नाम है. यहाँ 6 थिंकर्स यूपीएससी सिलेबस ने दे रखे हैं इन पेपर 1. हैव टू रीड अबाउट them. The topics are like politics and society. The topic is religion and society. The topic is stratification and mobility, जिसमें हम कास्ट और क्लास और जेंडर के बारे में पढ़ते हैं. So the topic is about work and economic life. What impact COVID will have on the life of people. Simple अगर मैं क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ कि कोविड का क्या असर हुआ, वर्क फ्रॉम होम, how it has affected the life of people. That's a standard question of sociology. Now you don't need a specialization to answer this. Just sociology पढ़ के क्या होगा कि you will read some thinkers, you will learn to frame your answers in a better coordinated manner. बाकी knowledge about society is already there. You will not be reading something कि quantum physics इसके बारे में कुछ सुना ही नहीं है कभी. So these are all the advantages of sociology because of which I go with it. अब इस तरीके से मैं मैट्रिक्स क्यों बनाता हूँ, मैंने पहले भी बताया है शायद. See, if you are giving 2 hours for next 5 to 6 months, just 2 hours, you can cover your entire syllabus of sociology. You can cover the syllabus of PSIR other than the current affairs part, because for that you have to constantly read. But core syllabus of sociology and PSIR, sociology में ऐसा बहुत कुछ current affairs नहीं है. So the core syllabus will be covered in 5 to 6 months just by giving 2 hours every day. You try to do that with geography or anthropology or PubAd, you are going to give anywhere around 4 hours. So just it's double the effort. You go to history and economics and it becomes 6 hours. Same month duration, it becomes 6 hours. You go to maths and you have to give anywhere about 7 to 8 hours just to cover the syllabus in 5 to 6 months. वो भी नहीं होता है. And you cannot give 7 to 8 hours, then you have to complete your syllabus in 1 year. तो ये मैथ्स वाले लोग 1 साल 1.5 साल सिर्फ ऑप्शनल पढ़ते रहते हैं. हिस्ट्री वालों का भी सेम है, ये पूरे साल ऑप्शनल ही पढ़ते रहते हैं, क्योंकि आप 6 घंटा डेली तो नहीं पढ़ सकते एक सब्जेक्ट. सेम गोज विथ इकोनॉमिक्स, वास्ट सिलेबस. सो in my considerate opinion, I opted for sociology. And देखो, साइकोलॉजी कुछ सब्जेक्ट्स तो मैं नहीं डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ. साइकोलॉजी एंड फिलोसफी, these subjects are very niche subjects. Then there is medical science as well. If anybody is doctor, then there is a subject called medical science. यहाँ पे मैं भूल गया था. तो law, agriculture and medical science, they're very good subjects. If you're good in it, go and take it. Psychology and philosophy needs a very strong bent of mind. If you do not have any background in philosophy or psychology, पागलों की तरह घूमते रहोगे एक बार सब्जेक्ट स्टार्ट किया तो. अगर इंटरेस्ट है and if you have certain background, then you can start. But again, the problem is there are no faculties. There is not much precedent about these subjects. So मैं उनको कंसिडर भी नहीं करता हूँ यूपीएससी के लिए कि उनको देखना है. द मोर चॉइसेस यू विल थिंक अबाउट. वो कपड़े के ऑप्शन में प्रॉब्लम क्या है, कपड़े की दुकान में हम जाते हैं, बहुत सारा कपड़ा देखकर परेशानी में पड़ जाते हैं, ले कौन सा. The same problem lies with optionals. We have so many options to choose from, it's confuses. The first task is to reduce your optionals. Reduce your options. Do not think about 30 subjects में से एक लेना है. Think about 2 or 3 subjects. Pick out 2 or 3 subjects. Okay, I have to choose one subject out of this. Compare those 3 or 4 subjects and take that subject. Psychology, again, it needs background. Uh, अब क्या यहाँ बताना था, और हाँ, so see, you just take 3 or 4 सब्जेक्ट्स का एक सेट बना लो, ठीक है? मान लो तुमको पसंद है हिस्ट्री, तुमको अच्छी लग रही है, तुमको PSIR अच्छा लग रहा है, तुमको सोशियो अच्छा लग रहा है, तुमको एंथ्रोपोलॉजी अच्छी लग रही है. नाउ you compare. Do you have book list for the subjects that you are planning to? If you have the book list means if it is easily available, is there is if there are toppers who have suggested some book list on that subject and it's predefined कि हाँ हाँ ये चीज पढ़ लेंगे. If there is a book list, do you have a mentor? Optionals is very difficult to do on your own. So do you have a mentor who can guide you कि क्या करना है, कैसे करना है? Mentor बोल लो या फिर faculty बोल, teacher बोल लो. So if you have someone like that, if you have these 2 things which are easily available for whichever subject you go for that, तुमको अगर आसानी से PSIR के टीचर मिल जाते हैं तुम्हारे फैमिली में, तुम्हारे फ्रेंड सर्कल में, if there is someone who is well versed with PSIR, has qualified the exam with PSIR, or has given interview with PSIR, in written means with PSIR, you can take help from those, you go with PSIR. तो जहां भी तुम अब अपनी स्ट्रेंथ देखो एंड उसमें से तुम डिसाइड करो. मैं सोशियो सजेस्ट करता हूँ बिकॉज इफ यू विल गो फॉर कोचिंग फॉर एनी ऑफ दीज सब्जेक्ट्स, एनी गुड टीचर, good in the sense ki who had some kind of reputation. Now optional is not a subject that you can read from anyone. GAC is a subject that probably teachers, any student who has prepared good for UPSC can handle the subject. Optionals need a very thorough deeper understanding. It needs you a understanding of master's level. So optional is not something कि तुम किसी से भी जाके पढ़ लो. So any good teacher in Delhi, anywhere in country, the average fee is about, किसी ने कुछ इंक्वायरी की है फीस के बारे में आजकल क्या चल रहा है? What is the fee for optionals? किसी ने की इंक्वायरी? As far as I understand, optional fees are anywhere between, हाँ, PSIR का तो अलग लीग है, नहीं 1.5 नहीं है. PSIR is I think the highest fee that is there for PSIR. So optional fees will vary anywhere between 40,000 to 80,000, and this is without test series. So you add upon that 10 to 20,000 for test series. So this is the fee that you will cost if you go for an optional class, and in that class, on an average, you will find 100 200 students, and it makes it very difficult to understand the subject. The good thing with sociology, and that's why I started sociology as an optional. It was in fact a demand from students themselves कि कुछ start किया जाए sir. Because if you know, I have on Telegram I was running a free channel. इजी सोशियोलॉजी के नाम से एक फ्री चैनल है, तुम लोग चाहो तो शायद मोस्ट ऑफ यू आर ऑलरेडी देयर. इफ यू आर नॉट, यू कैन ज्वाइन. I will share the link as well. So I was running a free channel, totally free. I was evaluating copies. I had uploaded my resources and all. So it was a free channel. From that free channel, students started asking कि सर इस इतना clarification नहीं मिल पाता है कहीं. From there we started a class in 15,000 rupees with test series, with answer writing. रिचा ने शायद ज्वाइन कर भी लिया. So Aman, and so this was the idea. Now I have completed one batch. The second batch is going on. Some of you are already in the second batch enrolled. And we are going to start the third batch in April. I keep my batches very, very small. कितने बच्चे हैं बैच में? कोई है यहाँ सोशियो बैच वाला? तो जनरली मैं 30 से एक्सीड नहीं करता हूँ बैचेस को, बिकॉज अरे नहीं, सोशियो के बैच की बात कर रहा हूँ, वो तो ओपन बैच है। सोशियो के हमारे लाइव, सोशियो का जैसे हमारा ये क्लास होता है वैसे ही जूम पे लाइव क्लास होता है, एंड इन दैट बैच वी कीप इट अ वेरी क्लोज ग्रुप, 30 स्टूडेंट्स, जहाँ पे कि वी कैन इंटरैक्ट डायरेक्टली। सोशलॉजी थोड़ा डिस्कशन बेस्ड है. यू हैव योर ओपिनियंस अबाउट थिंग्स, I have my opinions about things, and we have to read various opinions about the things. It's a discussion, debate-based subject. That's the one thing that lacks anywhere. मैंने बहुत क्लासेस देखे हैं, बहुत टीचर्स को देखा है, वो बस आएंगे और नोट्स लिखवाना स्टार्ट करेंगे, ये थिंकर ने ये कहा, ये थिंकर ने ये कहा. It's a debate-based subject, discussion-based subject, and that's what we do in our sociology class, along with notes, along with test series. The fee is 1,000, sorry, the fee is 15,000 rupees. And till now, I'm not going out. I've not started advertising on any platform because I prefer if the first chance should be given to the students who are already aware about this, जो मेरे साथ comfortable है. And that's the good thing about these NCERT classes. Once you are in this class, you get an idea कि मैं पढ़ाऊंगा तुमको समझ में आएगी बात या नहीं आएगी. So the batch is going to start from April. Those who are interested, you have my number. Just drop me a text and book your seats. At least मुझे बता दो कि सर मैं सोच रहा हूँ, keep a seat open for me, so that in future we can check कि कब कितना क्या करना है. So this is it. 8368481944 पे टेक्स्ट कर लो, and this is my only number. मेरा कोई और नंबर नहीं है. This confusion happens with most of the students. You have joined, you are in various other groups, WhatsApp groups में. I am not a member of any of those groups. I operate independently. This is my number. If you have any query about NCERT classes, you have any query about the subject, this is my number where you need to contact me. और मेरा कोई नंबर नहीं है. अगर तुम किसी और नंबर पे बात कर रहे हो थिंकिंग कि आई एम रिप्लाइंग, आई एम नॉट रिप्लाइंग. 8368481944 is my number. Those who are interested can send me. Ruchana, एक बेस्ट क्लास फॉर बिगनर्स. बेस्ट क्लास फॉर बिगनर्स नहीं, बेस्ट क्लास. चलो ठीक है. व्हाट अबाउट पबैड? अक्षता इज आस्किंग, एंड सर आप PSIR भी स्टार्ट कर दो. अरे मुझे बहुत रिक्वेस्ट आ रहे हैं लास्ट ईयर तो. देखो PSIR मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ कि ऑप्शनल इज समथिंग दैट नीड्स स्पेशलाइजेशन. इट्स नॉट लाइक एनी अदर सब्जेक्ट. You need to delve deeper into the subject, and then only you can write good answers in that. And I'm not that good in PSIR, तो उसके बारे में नहीं सोचना है. चलो देखते हैं. सो मेक योर माइंड, क्योंकि अभी से हम अगर स्टार्ट करते हैं क्या फायदा है. लाइक व्हाई वी आर स्टार्टिंग इट इन अप्रैल. इफ वी आर स्टार्टिंग नाउ, सो थिंक अबाउट कि मई, जून, जुलाई, अगस्त, सितंबर, अगस्त तक, जुलाई और अगस्त तक we will cover our optionals. Then you will have the time टू रिवाइज. देखो अभी स्टार्ट भी करते हैं तो मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स लाइक दोज हु आर ऑलरेडी एनरोल्ड इन द क्लासेस एज वेल, आप कंटिन्यू नहीं रख पाते हो. अगर तुम सोच रहे हो कि यू विल ज्वाइन वेरी लेट, and what will happen that if by some chance you miss, you have to take a break for 15 days or a month, तो फिर पूरा रिदम छूटा. मान लो मैं शायद नेक्स्ट बैच अगस्त में लॉन्च करूं, तुम अगस्त में ज्वाइन करते हो, ब्रेक होता है 23 में, अगर अटेम्प्ट देना है जनवरी फरवरी में जाके तुम्हारा फोकस होना है कि भाई कैसे भी प्रीलिम्स तो निकल जाए, ऑप्शन तो देखा जाएगा. People stopped attending the classes. Very few could maintain the level of motivation to balance both the things. So it's good that you join early so that if any mishap happens in this batch, now batches are always open to you. So अगर तुम अप्रैल में करते हो, you can do the August course. There's no extra charge. So if any mishap happens here, if there is a break in your preparation, तुम आगे कैरी फॉरवर्ड कर सकते हो. तुम्हारे पास यू विल हैव द टाइम टू मेंड योर वेज, यू विल हैव टाइम टू मेक करेक्शंस एंड कम ऑन ट्रैक. यहाँ से फिर वो वन वे पाथ है, देयर इज नो कमिंग बैक. How to DM you only in my number? My WhatsApp number is 8368481944. You text me there. You can text me there. क्या हो रहा है? तुम किसी और को बस सुश्री. चलो ठीक है, अब आते हैं ज्योग्राफी पे. दिस इज ऑल अबाउट ऑप्शनल्स. वी विल हैव सम मोर सेशंस अबाउट सोशियोलॉजी, कि कितना इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है. बिकॉज आई थिंक द वे आई टीच ज्योग्राफी, स्टूडेंट्स को ज्योग्राफी से बहुत ज्यादा प्यार हो जाता है. चलो so we have read about these isthmus and states we have covered. Fresh water we have covered. Oceans we were discussing, I suppose. So in that we have read that Pacific Oceans is the largest ocean. यही कर रहे थे ना? All of you are on the same page. ठीक है. So Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. It is spread over. अच्छा हाँ, all of you have got the PDFs of NCERTs. Those who are new to the batch, तुम लोगों को PDF मिल गया है? नहीं मिला होगा शायद बहुत लोगों को. हाईलाइटेड PDF मिल गया है क्या? नहीं मिला है. So in the Telegram group, it is there. So you scroll up in the Telegram group, you will find a link. ये थोड़ा ऊपर जाओ, टेलीग्राम जो NCERT 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 है, you go in that Telegram group, you scroll up, you will find all the books are uploaded on a drive. Okay, let me send the link here also so that it's sorted at least for the time being. उधर तुमको वो सब मिल जाएगा, और सिलेबस की भी कॉपी मिल जाएगी, और use this, see if it is working. एक मिनट को मैं अच्छा लिंक भेज देता हूँ, इससे काम नहीं चलेगा. I've sent the Google Drive link. You check there and Susri saying, sir, I understood that. गुड, यू आर स्मार्ट। हाँ, आते हैं। तो हम क्या देखे थे, पैसिफिक ओशन इज द लार्जेस्ट एंड स्प्रेड ओवर 1/3 ऑफ द अर्थ। In the Pacific Ocean, we have Mariana Trench. We will read about how trenches are formed and all in the higher classes. उसके बाद अपने पास क्या है, अटलांटिक ओशन इज द सेकंड लार्जेस्ट ओशन इन द वर्ल्ड एंड इट इज एसेप्ट। देखो यहाँ पे, दिस इज योर अटलांटिक ओशन विच इज एसेप्ट एंड इट डिवाइड्स यूरोप विथ एशिया। This is complete Atlantic Ocean. Sometimes this is called as Northern Atlantic. This is called as Southern Atlantic. But they are not two oceans. This is one ocean. ठीक है? This is clear. In many books you will find two things, but it's one. Now यहाँ पे एक और क्या है, द कोस्टलाइन ऑफ अटलांटिक ओशन इज हाईली इंडेंटेड। एनीबडी हैज एनी आइडिया व्हाट द वर्ड इंडेंटेड मींस? Cracks, like the way saying. So this is a good representation of what is indented means. Basically, and why these intended, ये क्या है कि ये irregular indented coastline provide ideal location for natural harbors and the ports. देखो, एक दो तरीके का सरफेस हो सकता है। वन सरफेस कैन बी वेरी स्मूथ, एज इफ कि एयरटेल नंबर किया। So one surface can be like this. This is your ocean. This is your ocean, and from there the land starts. And slowly, if you have been to beach, so you will find कि ऐसा समुंदर की लहर आती है और एक बीच है और ये बढ़िया सा एक स्मूथ सा सरफेस बना हुआ है। Now, in such a surface, seeps cannot come very close to the surface, क्योंकि यहाँ पे क्या है, in these regions the water is very shallow, so the seep cannot come very close to the surface. Here you have to create the artificial port. You have to build something. You have to build a platform so that people and the things can go closer to the seep when the water is deep. What happens in indented irregular surfaces is that they are kind of steep slope surfaces. So if this is the water, you will find that the slopes are steep. अब यहाँ पे क्या है, the seep can come very close to the surface. You do not need to create artificial platforms. तो इसलिए इसको क्या बोलते हैं? They provide natural harbors. Their ideal location for natural harbors and ports. Now I think it's very clear to you कि what the term indented means and इसका क्या purpose है. अब indented का एक और खासियत है. Think about this. If this surface would have been very smooth, like with no cracks, as they were saying, the total surface with which you had the land and water border would have been very small, right? अभी क्रैक के चलते क्या हो रहा है, you have now got a lot of areas, so you can port here also, you can port here also, you can build ports here also, here also. तो जितने ज्यादा क्रैक्स हैं, it increases the surface where you can build ports. ठीक है? And this is the busiest ocean because USA and North America and Europe are one of the most developed countries or continents in the world. So they exchange a lot of goods and people among them. हाँ दिव्या, like Gujarat, good example. So biggest ocean, Indian Ocean is the only ocean named after India. I think we have talked about this. Now, where is the end of Indian Ocean? ये एक मजेदार सवाल है. इंडियन ओशन खत्म कहाँ होता है? ये इंडियन ओशन यहाँ से स्टार्ट तो हुआ, बट up to which part do we call it? इंदिरा पॉइंट पे खत्म हो जाता है इंडियन ओशन. I was asking कि where India ends. Any idea where Indian Ocean would have been ending? What can be considered as the end of Indian Ocean? देखो, generally this southern ocean is considered as from the areas of नहीं 60 डिग्री से, ये जो 60 डिग्री वाला लाइन है ना, यहां से हम साउदर्न ओशन का स्टार्टिंग मान लेते हैं. सो इंडिया के बॉर्डर से अगर देखें और नीचे यहाँ 60 डिग्री तक वी कॉल इट इंडियन ओशन. ऑल्दो देयर इज नो लाइन एज सच, कोई ऐसा डिवाइडिंग लाइन वहां नहीं खींचा हुआ है, कोई ज्योग्राफिकल लैंडमार्क नहीं है. We assume that this is Southern Ocean, this is Indian Ocean. The reason is, one of the reasons is the movement of water that we will see later कि कैसे movement करता है water. और उसके चलते हम इसको दो consider करते हैं. But it is fascinating to know. Many a times we do not even think about it. तो कहाँ पहुंच गए हम? Indian Ocean हो गया. Now Southern Ocean encircles the continent and the Antarctic extends northward to 60 degree south latitude. As I told you, Southern Ocean encircles the Antarctic. कौन सा नॉर्थ में है, कौन सा साउथ में है? अंटार्कटिक एंड आर्कटिक, विच इज इन नॉर्थ एंड विच इज इन साउथ. याद रहता है सबको? मुझे तो बहुत कंफ्यूजन होता था. I used to make a lot of differences. Even still, I have to pause and take a think. So be very clear. Arctic is in north. Arctic is in north and Antarctic is in south. As I remember it, you can create any mnemonic. जैसे भी तुमको याद रहे तुम याद कर लो. मैं उसको ऐसे याद करता हूँ कि जिसमें N है वो नॉर्थ में नहीं है, जिसमें N है वो नॉर्थ में नहीं है. तो Antarctic is not in north, so it is in south. The smaller one, जिसका नाम छोटा है, वो नॉर्थ में. तो आर्कटिक इज इन नॉर्थ. या ऐसे याद कर सकते हो कि अपना वाला जो है वो आर्कटिक है. द वन विच इज इन आवर साइड इज आर्कटिक एंड जो हमारा एंटी है वो अंटार्कटिक है. So this is sorted now. Arctic extends towards 60 degrees south latitude, and I think we have talked about the Bering Strait as well. एशिया एंड नॉर्थ अमेरिका को डिवाइड करता है. नॉर्थ अमेरिका एंड यूरेशिया. नाउ अबाउट एटमोस्फियर, क्या शॉर्टकट बताया था मैंने? विच आर द स्फीयर्स दैट वी हैव? याद है सबको? व्हाट वाज द निमोनिक? बताया था मैंने हाउ टू रिमेम्बर द नेम्स. हाँ, टी शर्ट में थर्मल. गुड शंकर. सो टी शर्ट में थर्मल, अब थोड़ा सा इनका फीचर्स देख लेते हैं. इट्स अ वेरी गुड image actually. You can keep a screenshot or something of this with you for some time. Till then it becomes your own. Atmosphere में क्या है? Earth is surrounded by a layer of gas called atmosphere. It's a thin blanket of air and it's an integral important aspect of the planet. It provides us air we breathe and protect us from harmful effects of the sun rays. So this is about atmosphere. Now this kind of definitions may sound कह रहे ठीक है मतलब क्या है, but in mains you can expect a simple question about atmosphere. And उस टाइम पे अगर तुमको बोलूं कि define atmosphere, it will become very difficult for you. Even आंखें एक बार बंद करो अपनी and try to think about a definition of atmosphere. For many of you it will be very difficult, although you know all about atmosphere. सबको पता है कुछ, हाँ वो हवा जो होता है ना वो atmosphere है. But writing it is difficult, and I want to highlight this part. So do not take these things lightly. इसको notes में लिखो कि Earth is surrounded by a layer of gas called atmosphere, or you can create a better definition wherever you find the thin blanket of air that is surrounding the Earth is called atmosphere. Now air वाला aspect तो सबको पता है. Harmful effect of sun rays. See, Earth, if there would not have been the atmosphere, Earth पे life possible नहीं होता, because Earth would have been bombarded by different kind of harmful effects of sun rays. इससे हमको ये बचाता है. We will discuss in later classes about auroras and all, कि how the magnetic pole and the atmosphere interact and create beautiful auroras and protect life on Earth. But it protects us. Then you might have read about ultraviolet radiation. सबको पता होगा. So it protects us from ultraviolet radiations as well. What's the mechanism of this? We will discuss shortly. जब हम ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट पढ़ेंगे तो इसको हम डिटेल से देखेंगे. But keep this in mind as well. Now atmosphere extends to a height of about 16,000 kilometers. 1600 kilometers, sorry. So from Earth up to 1600 kilometers we have atmosphere. What happened after that? यहाँ पे क्या होगा? Gravity becomes zero. After atmosphere the gravity becomes zero. Yes or no? सबको पटक के मैं इतना मारूंगा, दांत निकाल लूंगा सबका. Gravity will not become zero. Gravity will still be there. The gravitational pull will become smaller, it will become less, but it still be there. When we were discussing about satellites, तभी मैंने समझाया था कि even at the height of 3600 kilometers we have satellites and which are constantly falling towards Earth because of its gravitational pull. अब इसमें तुम्हारी गलती नहीं है, because we have been kind of trained to think like that. We think of gravity as if कि यहाँ से यहाँ तक है और उसके बाद खत्म हो गया. We see those astronauts flying and think हाँ उधर एटमॉस्फेयर, उधर ग्रेविटी तो नहीं है ना. वही इमेज चलता है जब तुमसे कोई पूछता है कि ग्रेविटी तो and because of this answer comes कि हाँ खत्म हो गया. So there is still gravity. Don't make such mistakes in exam. यूपीएससी सीधा स्टेटमेंट पूछ सकता है. So atmosphere extends up to a height of 16,000 kilometers. Why not more than this? 16,000 से और ज्यादा क्यों नहीं? क्योंकि कोई बता सकता है 16,000 से ज्यादा क्यों नहीं? एनीबडी? इट्स लाइक अ कॉमन सेंसिकल क्वेश्चन. थोड़ा सोच सकते हो. व्हाई देयर विल बी, व्हाई देयर, व्हाई द एटमॉस्फेयर इज लिमिटेड अप टू 1600 kilometers or so? व्हाई नॉट मोर देन दैट? क्या रीजन हो सकता है? Density of air decreases and becomes zero. Okay, but why the density decreases, Kishore? See, uh, what is air? Air is small molecules, atoms basically, right? Atoms, and then atoms combine to become molecules. Now, these atoms are around Earth because of Earth's gravity. Like Earth attracts an apple towards it, similarly, Earth also attract atoms towards it. The way Earth attracts us towards it, it also attracts the air molecules towards it. So what we will see, that closer to the Earth's surface, because gravity का क्या formula है? The closer the objects are, higher will be their gravitational force. जिनको नहीं पता है, those who are not coming from the science background, the normal relationship between gravitational force and the distance between them is inversely proportional. डिस्टेंस बढ़ेगा फोर्स कम होगा, फोर्स बढ़ेगा डिस्टेंस कम होगा. सो द air molecule which are closer to the surface of the earth are facing a lot of higher gravitational pull, so they will be forced towards earth's surface. As we will go higher and higher, the gravitational pull will keep on decreasing. Now gravitational pull also depends upon the mass of the object. So uh, a very heavy object here will feel gravitational pull even here. But a very small object like an atom of the air will not feel the same amount of gravitational pull. It is there, but it's not sufficient enough to keep it binded. It will be very loose bond. And after a point, the gravitational pull becomes so small that air will just fly away anywhere. It's now no longer strong enough to hold it. So 1600 tak jate jate we kind of reach that point. Now it's not, it doesn't mean that Earth's gravitation has ended here. It means Earth's gravitation for those small particles like atom molecules is not strong enough to keep it binded. But Earth's gravitation is felt at moon as well. Moon is also not free from Earth's gravitation. तो तुमको क्या लग रहा है कि इस बीच में और किसी चीज पे ग्रेविटेशन नहीं है? Moon is facing Earth's gravitation because Moon is very big in the comparison to that atom, and that's why it's feeling the gravitational pull. Okay? So I hope this whole idea of gravity is very clear in your mind. Gravity कैसे काम कर रहा है? Gravity को do not think of something it starts and stop. It depends upon a lot of factors, depending on the size of the body it's walking upon, depending on the distance it is. And that's why we have our atmosphere up to the height of 16 kilometers, 1600 kilometers. Now, tell me this from the discussion, अगर तुमको gravity समझ में आई है, because if some of the basics are clear, then you can find the answer to the difficult questions on your own. So what will be the density of air if we move from the surface of Earth towards the outer sphere, outer atmosphere? Density of एयर में क्या फर्क आएगा और क्यों आएगा? डेंसिटी क्या होगा? हाइयर वी गो, डेंसिटी विल इंक्रीज और डेंसिटी विल डिक्रीज? Density will decrease. Anybody can explain why? Why density will decrease? Less pressure because less atoms because of mass. देखो, simple idea है. At this point, the force of gravitation is high. So lot of air molecules are packed in this small region. So let's suppose you take a, now density भी बहुत लोगों को नहीं पता होगी कि density क्या है. Imagine density like this. Density is that if you take a cube, let's suppose it's a cube of 1 centimeter height, length, width. Now, if you take a cube, और लेट्स सपोज तुम एक बाल्टी हवा निकालते हो अर्थ के सरफेस के पास से, so in this 1 centimeter cube you will have a lot of particles packed in because they are very close to each other because of Earth's gravity. But as we are going up, it's not able to hold the particles that close. They are very far spreaded. So if you take the same cube here, 1 centimeter, you will find that there are less number of molecules in that cube. अब डेंसिटी का हम लोग क्या पढ़ते हैं फॉर्मूला? डेंसिटी इज इक्वल टू मास बाय वॉल्यूम. So the volume in both these cases are same, right? 1 centimeter cube का हमने volume लिया. But here because the number of atoms are very high, the mass is high. Here the number of atoms are less, so the mass is less. So the density at the surface of Earth will be high. The density at the higher we will go, the density will be decreasing. ये समझ में आया? डेंसिटी का फॉर्मूला समझ में आया और कैसे सोचना है चीजों को, कैसे वो एक क्यूब में ज्यादा नंबर ऑफ वो है और उसके चलते चेंज हो रहा है. दिस इज क्लियर टू ऑल, इवन दोज हु आर नॉट फ्रॉम साइंस. जिनको साइंस पढ़े जमाना हो गया उनको भी ठीक से समझ में आ गया ये बात. चलो, नाउ टेल मी कि इफ आई try to take two samples. मैं यहाँ से एक सैंपल लेता हूँ closer to the earth surface and I took a sample above at a very high at a height. Which of these two air samples will have larger air molecules or higher air molecules? Higher in the sense कि heavier, not higher, heavier air molecules. कहाँ अच्छा, इसको मैं और थोड़ा सा इजी वे में पुट करता हूँ. Where you will have more nitrogen molecules will be present here or here? And where you have more concentration wise, I'm asking you percentage wise. ठीक है, तो where you have more hydrogen atom, here or here? हाइड्रोजन एटम कहाँ ज्यादा होगा? देखो, this is a little tricky and try to understand this. I give you a hint that I'm asking you the percentage wise ratio. Now closer to the earth surface, what point I'm trying to make it here is that at closer to the earth surface you will find heavier air molecules like nitrogen is heavy, oxygen is heavy. If you know about the periodic table, so periodic table में जो gases हैं like inert gases and all these other gases, so these heavier gases, because their mass is more, they will be pulled with greater force towards the Earth's surface. And that's why when we go up, the concentration of oxygen starts to decrease, because oxygen will be much more concentrated towards the Earth's surface. So अगर तुम जाके ऊपर at ऐसा जियोन और नियॉन ढूंढना चाहो, तो you will not find those atoms at a very high altitude. These are attracted towards much closer to the surface of the earth. But ऊपर तुमको हाइड्रोजन का concentration ज्यादा मिलेगा. These are lighter, freely escaping. They are not feeling that much force to get binded with the surface. तो ऊपर तुमको ये लाइटर एयर्स, हाइड्रोजन, हीलियम ज्यादा मिलेंगे. हैवियर जितने भी तुमको एयर मॉलिक्यूल्स मिलेंगे वो इधर मिलेंगे. हियर यू हैव ग्रेट डाइवर्सिटी ऑफ गैसेस. डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ गैस तुमको यहाँ मिलेगा. इधर जैसे जैसे तुम ऊपर जाओगे, you will find it will get more rarefied, lighter and lighter gases you will find above. ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आया? And these are very minute things, but it makes our understanding about the whole atmosphere very clear. Now let's read this again. So this whole thing is divided into 5 layers that you know as a T-shirt made thermal, and then the outer one is exosphere. We have divided these based upon composition, temperature, and properties. So the type of air in troposphere is different. The composition of molecules is different. Now अब तुम्हें समझ में आ रहा होगा कि क्यों, why the composition of air in the atmosphere will be different than the composition of air in troposphere. ये वाले कॉन्सेप्ट से ये बात समझ में आ रही है तुमको? Why composition will be different? Yes or no? Here you have higher, heavier air particles. Here you have lower. तो composition will change. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि एटमोस्फेयर में थ्रू आउट फ्रॉम बॉटम टू टॉप you have same percentage of air everywhere. These layers starting from the earth surface are called troposphere. ये सब तो मैं देख लिया. The atmosphere is composed mainly of nitrogen and oxygen. So 99% of the all atmosphere is nitrogen and oxygen. Nitrogen is 78%, oxygen is 21%. And in the rest of the amount, we have carbon dioxide, argon, and other gases. Now, what's the importance of oxygen? All of us know oxygen is the breath of life, while nitrogen helps to growth of living organisms. Oxygen we breathe. Nitrogen helps in growing of living organisms. Why so? I hope many of you have idea. If not, you should know that nitrogen is the basic ingredient that builds protein. Protein का अगर तुम चेन देखोगे तो वहाँ कार्बन के साथ साथ the basic ingredient is nitrogen, and that's why we put urea in our fertilizers. And when we put urea, which is mainly made up of nitrogen, our plant starts to grow. Even we as a human need nitrogen so that our muscle, our protein belts, and our bone structures are created. So growth of living organism depends upon nitrogen. Carbon dioxide though present in minute amount, is important as it absorbs heat radiated by the earth and thereby keeping the planet warm. Now this is a very, very important line, and we will be discussing about this at great length. But for now, itna samajh lo कि this is earth, and we have, because of carbon dioxide, it traps the earth's heat. So sunlight is coming and it's radiated, but carbon dioxide acts as a blanket. It allows the sunlight to come, but it prevents them from going out. So this is the work of carbon dioxide. Because of this, ये क्या होता है, एक ब्लैंकेट की तरह काम करता है, which keeps the earth warm. Otherwise, what would have happened if there would have been no carbon dioxide? The sun rays would have come to earth and would have been reflected back, and earth would have been a very cold planet. दिन में टेम्परेचर हो जाता 40 डिग्री और रात में टेम्परेचर हो जाता -40 डिग्री या मोर देन दैट. हाँ, एमिनो एसिड्स एंड बेस ऑफ डीएनए. गुड. Now, the density of the atmosphere varies with height. This we have covered. It is maximum at the sea level and decreases rapidly as we go up. Now, I don't think I need to explain this. Clear hai na ye? As we go up, the density will decrease. And that's why the climbers will feel that there is no air and they will feel difficulty in breathing. इसलिए बूढ़े लोगों को अगर वैष्णो देवी कोई जाता है तो या तो उनको ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर दे देते हैं, या फिर वो मैंडेटरी चेक करते हैं भाई अमरनाथ की यात्रा पे जो जाएंगे उनको, इफ यू आर फिट देन ओनली यू कैन गो. द टेम्परेचर ऑल्सो decreases as we go upward. Now, this is a very fascinating concept. As we go upward, the temperature decreases. इसके बारे में हम लोग थोड़ा वापस आके पढ़ेंगे, बट फॉर नाउ यू कीप इट इन माइंड बिकॉज इट्स अ वेरी इलैबोरेट कॉन्सेप्ट एंड क्रूशियल. नॉर्मली क्या होना चाहिए हमने को, तो नॉर्मली ऐसा होना चाहिए, इफ दिस इज सन एंड दिस इज अर्थ and light is coming from here, so the normally it should happen, it should be like this place is more hotter than this place, right? यहाँ अगर आग जल रहा हो तो क्लोजर टू द सन शुड बी मोर हॉट. इन अर्थ में उल्टा होता है, दिस इज हॉट एंड दिस इज कोल्ड. इसके बारे में डिटेल से पढ़ेंगे. एक्चुअली ये एटमोस्फेयर के भी बारे में बहुत डिटेल से पढ़ना है. दिस इज नथिंग इन कंपैरिजन टू व्हाट वी नीड टू स्टडी. नाउ दिस इमेज एक्चुअली रिप्रेजेंट्स that all the flights in troposphere we have hot air balloons. So hot air balloon जो उड़ाते हैं वो troposphere में उड़ाते हैं. The aeroplanes mainly fly in a zone which is called as tropopause. Troposphere के थोड़ा ऊपर जाके उड़ते हैं. Stratosphere में ये जो हमने जो meteors वगैरह पढ़ा था, most of them die while they enter into stratosphere. Then we have, these are weather balloons. Weather balloons क्या है? Scientists send these balloons to know about the turbulence in the air. कितना हीट, कितनी गर्मी होगी, कब बारिश हो सकता है, ये सब जानने के लिए और वेदर बलून छोड़ते हैं. ये भी स्ट्रेटोस्फीयर में. स्पेस लॉन्चेस के लिए रॉकेट्स वगैरह जो छोड़ रहे हैं वो मेसोस्फीयर में है, यहाँ पे जाके वो डिसइंटीग्रेट होता है. एंड सैटेलाइट्स आर बियॉन्ड थर्मोस्फीयर, some of them are beyond exosphere as well. तो इसके बारे में और डिटेल से पढ़ेंगे, चिंता मत करो. This line, the air moves from high pressure to low pressure and moving air is known as wind. ये लाइन अगर समझ गए तो बहुत कुछ समझ जाओगे जिंदगी में. तो इसको थोड़ा ठीक से समझते हैं. The atmosphere exerts pressure on Earth. This varies from place to place. Some areas experiences high pressure and some areas experiences low pressure. देखो ऐसा क्या हो रहा है, दिस इज योर अर्थ सरफेस, दिस इज योर अर्थ सरफेस, दिस इज हाई प्रेशर, दिस इज लो प्रेशर, दिस इज हाई प्रेशर. लेट्स सपोज दिस इज दिल्ली, लेट्स सपोज दिस इज कोलकाता. तो इफ आई ड्रॉ इट ऑन अ 2D map of India, it will look something like this. So this is Delhi, this is Kolkata. Now, Earth has differential heating. अभी ये तो हमको आगे पढ़ना है, लेकिन थोड़ा समझ लेते हैं. अभी इतना समझ लो कि if there is high pressure in Delhi, high pressure means that air is coming down. क्या हो रहा है? हाई प्रेशर का मतलब एयर ऐसे. हाई प्रेशर कब होता है? तुम ऐसा किसी को नीचे दबा रहे हो, प्रेस कर रहे हो, तो हाई प्रेशर फील होगा, राइट? सो देयर इज हाई प्रेशर इन दिल्ली बिकॉज एयर इज सिंकिंग हियर, एयर इज कमिंग डाउन. हाई प्रेशर और तो कोई नहीं है प्रेशर बनाने के लिए, ऐसा भगवान जी ऊपर से हाथ से तो नहीं दबा रहे. ऑल द प्रेशर दैट विल बी क्रिएटेड बिकॉज ऑफ द सिंकिंग एयर. ठीक है. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज कि व्हाई द एयर विल सिंक. इसको हम लोग बाद में देखेंगे, थोड़ा समझ लो अभी. So the sinking air is sinking at Delhi. Now here you have a huge pool of air. क्या होगा? कितने टाइम तक वहां पे स्टोर करता रहेगा? After some time there is a huge pool of air which is in Delhi. So this air will then start moving on the Earth's surface towards low pressure area. In this case, let's suppose it is in Kolkata. So it will move towards Kolkata, which is a low pressure area. So अगर मैप में देखे तो कैसा चल रहा होगा? हवा ऐसे दिल्ली से कोलकाता की तरफ मूव कर रही होगी, from high pressure to low pressure. You can understand it with a simple analogy. Water always moves from a higher place to a lower place. अगर तुम्हारे पास यहाँ एक टंकी में पानी रखा है तो वो हमेशा हाई प्लेस टू लो प्लेस पे जाएगी. इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ऑल्सो मूव्स फ्रॉम हाई पोटेंशियल टू लो पोटेंशियल, इफ यू रिमेम्बर. सो सिमिलरली एयर ऑल्सो मूव्स फ्रॉम अ place of high pressure to place of low pressure, and this is low pressure because air is rising up from here. ये मैप ड्रॉ करके रखो, इसके बारे में हम लोग फिर बाद में आकर देखेंगे कि हाउ टेम्परेचर plays its role in increasing or decreasing or creation of high pressure or low pressure. So up to this point we are clear कि air moves from high pressure to low pressure and this moving air is known as wind. This is clear. ये लाइन क्लियर है ना? Good. Now biosphere. We have discussed about this. Biosphere is a narrow zone where all the three spheres, hydrosphere, lithosphere, and atmosphere are interacting. So this elephant cannot survive without water. He cannot survive if there is no land, and he cannot survive if there is no air. Similarly with the fishes and the plants and the birds. All the life is possible at a narrow zone where all of these three things are interacting. It's a good definition for biosphere. Now, organisms on our earth is broadly divided into plant kingdom and animal kingdom. What you can do, I would suggest that you go and read class 9th biology book. जो लोग ऑलरेडी बायो से हैं उनको तो अच्छे से आइडिया होगा. You should read about plant kingdom and animal kingdom. उसमें बायोलॉजिकली जो हमने अगर बचपन में तुम लोगों को याद आ रहा होगा तो we have read about all those classes and genes and all such things. So you should try to remember that. Now, increase in the amount of CO2 leads to increase in global temperature and global warming. Now, this is a common concept. इसको और डिटेल से भी पढ़ेंगे, but for now you can understand the sunlight is coming, it's going out, the carbon dioxide is acting as a blanket to protect it. If there will be too much carbon dioxide, it will trap too much heat, and because of that the temperature will increase. So this is the end of this chapter. Now let's move to major landforms of the earth. आज लग रहा है मैं अच्छा पढ़ा रहा हूँ क्या? कोई क्लास छोड़ के नहीं जा रहा है? समझ में आ रहा है तुम लोगों को? ठीक है, गुड. Major landforms of the earth. Now, this is a very important chapter. This is an introduction to geography, kind of physical geography, क्योंकि इन सब टॉपिक्स को बहुत डिटेल से हम लोगों को पढ़ना है. See, infinite variety of landforms on Earth. The landforms as the name suggests is a type of land that we can see. देखो मैंने बोला तो दो लोगों ने छोड़ दिया. They got offended. अच्छा इतना भी खुद की पढ़ाई पे तुम इतना घमंड कर रहे हो, हम जाते हैं. Anyway, not my loss. Infinite variety of landforms. So landforms are of different types. We saw we do not find same kind of land structure everywhere, and we need to study about these landforms. Now, this is a very good image which kind of captures all the landforms that we need to study. ये एक अच्छा definition है यहाँ पे hill. You probably know about what is a mountain, you know about what is a river or what is a plateau and all such things. Hill का बहुत अच्छा है कि यहाँ पे example दिया है. Hill is a surface that raise higher than the surrounding area. Generally, a steep hill with an elevation of more than 600 meters is termed as mountain. Hill और mountain में क्या अंतर है? Hill is a surface that has risen higher than the surrounding areas. उसमें कोई ऐसा पैरामीटर नहीं है कि कितना ऊंचा होना चाहिए. But if the height is more than 600 meters, a steep elevation with a steep hill with an elevation of more than 600 meters is termed as mountain. If the hill's height is more than 600 meter, तो उसको mountain बोलेंगे. What does this mean? Even if there is a high rising area, but its height is not more than 600, if it's 500 meters, it may still look like a mountain, but it will not be called a mountain. ठीक है, ये क्लियर है. बहुत अच्छा डेफिनेशन है एक्चुअली माउंटेन के लिए. A hill which has a steep elevation of more than 600 meters. ठीक है. Now first, how do we have so many kind of landforms? For this, we generally read about two kind of processes: internal processes and external processes. Internal processes, something which is happening inside the earth. Earth के surface के नीचे जो कुछ भी हो रहा है, that is internal. Now, these internal processes are like earthquakes, volcanoes. So we'll read about them in detail. But for your understanding, internal process leads to upliftment and sinking of the earth's surface at several places. क्या होता है? If there is an earthquake, some places will sink, some places will rise up. That will lead to the creation of landform. If there is a volcano, again, some fluid will come out of the surface, will change the face of the earth. So because of these internal processes, we have different style. Then there are external processes. Mainly, these are erosion or deposition. So क्या होगा? There is a river flowing and it will start eroding the surrounding regions and will create a different kind of landform there. Or if there is a river and it will start depositing its silts and all there and will create a different kind of लैंडफॉर्म। तो हम पढ़ेंगे व्हाट आर द इरोजनल लैंडफॉर्म्स, व्हाट आर द डिपोजिशनल लैंडफॉर्म्स। फर्स्ट देख लेते हैं माउंटेन्स को। It's a natural elevation of the earth. Now you know the height, 600 meters or more. Some mountains are even higher than the clouds, and higher you go, the cooler you feel. ऊपर जाएंगे, the climate becomes colder. Some mountains are permanently frozen, rivers of ice. They are called glaciers. बहुत अच्छा definition है. What is a glacier? Glacier is a permanently frozen rivers of ice. मुझे नहीं लगता तुम लोगों ने अभी तक इस तरीके से सोचा होगा ग्लेशियर के बारे में. Although all of you know about glaciers. So glaciers are permanently frozen rivers of ice. They cannot see, you cannot see as they are there are some mountains under the sea as well. We will read when we will start oceanography in class 11 that there are many mountains which are completely submerged under the earth, and some of them are higher than the mountains that we have on the earth or on the land. Now, mountains are arranged in a line and they are called range. बहुत अच्छा definition है because it creates a lot of confusion. So, mountain is a stand-alone hill. देखो बहुत मजेदार है और शायद बहुत लोगों को इसमें confusion होता है. A hill is a uplifted region, right? A hill is a uplifted region. Of that hill, mountains is a small part. So the hills which have more than 600 meter elevation are mountains. Now a line of mountains, different mountains arranged in a line is a range. ठीक है? Different mountains arranged. तो हिमालय is a single mountain. हिमालय को क्या बोलेंगे? Yes, it's a range of mountains, not one mountain. Okay, we saw there are different mountains, and in fact, Himalaya is not even a range. Himalaya is even bigger than a range because Himalaya has many ranges, and that's called as mountain system. उसके बारे में देखेंगे. But ये concept अभी clear होना चाहिए कि there's a difference between one single mountain and mountain system. Many mountain systems consist a series of parallel ranges extending over 100 of kilometers. So Himalayan क्या है? Himalayas is a mountain ranges और a mountain system. बहुत सारे रेंज देखेंगे कि हिमालय में एक रेंज नहीं है. There are at least 3-4 ranges and mountains are arranged in this form. ठीक है? Yeah, we have to read about Himalayas in detail. Don't worry, Divya. Now try to locate these on the maps. Himalayas, Alps, and Andes. ये अपने तुम्हारे पास जो map है उस पे point out करो and point this one also. Mauna Kea is an undersea mountain. It's even higher than the Mount Everest. So highest. अगर ऐसा क्वेश्चन आता है जनरली यूपीएससी will not ask, but in some state exams they can ask you this कि highest mountain on the earth is not Mount Everest. It's Mauna Kea, which is 10,000 meters high. Highest mountain on the land surface is Mount Everest. या फिर पूछता है कि highest mountain from the sea level. Now you understand the sea level. So if the question is highest mountain from the sea level, then it is Mount Everest because Mauna Kea is below sea level. Mountains 3 types के हैं. fold mountains, block mountains, and volcanic mountains. All of you have tablecloths on your table on which you are studying. Tablecloth है सबके पास? नहीं होगा तो just imagine. If you have tablecloth and if you have, you can try doing this. So you push your tablecloth from one side. ऐसा fold करने की कोशिश करो. Try pushing it from any one side, and what will happen? I think all of you are getting this kind of a structure. Your tablecloth will wrinkle like this. इस टाइप का हो गया. If you are applying the force from this side, your tablecloth will become like this. है ना? हो रहा नहीं हो रहा है? So this mountain, this kind of a mountain, basically यहाँ क्या हो रहा है? There you can see that there are folds in your tablecloth. So, by the way, how many of you are sitting at a table and chair, and how many are lying on your bed? चल रहा है कुछ promotion. How many of you are sitting on a table or a chair? So, those who are not, make it a habit. Start developing this habit. As an officer, you have to sit on a table and chair. मैं स्कूल जब कॉलेज में था, I used to tell this to my friend. Now, because many of us come from the families where there is not such a culture of education. Many of our parents do not understand the importance of environment. मैंने देखा है मेरी फैमिली में भी कई लोग हैं, they have the rich people, they have all these varieties of furnitures in their house, but they do not have a dedicated table and chair for the kids to study. And that's the most essential thing that you should have. It doesn't need to be a luxurious chair like me. You can have a simple chair. Don't buy a plastic chair. Have a foam, थोड़ा सा मजबूत chair ले लो. Plastic वाले पे थोड़ी दिक्कत होती है. So have a strong chair and practice, because as an officer, you have to sit on a chair for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. स्लो इनिशियली बहुत लोगों के लिए प्रॉब्लमेटिक हो सकता है. सिटिंग ऑन अ चेयर कैन बी लाइक, ओ नहीं सर नहीं होगा, मैं बेड पे ही पढ़ता हूँ. सो आई यूज्ड टू टेल माय फ्रेंड्स टू डू दिस. थ्रू आउट द कॉलेज दे डिडंट फॉलो माय advice, because in college you are just another person. Now they have started, after college they started preparation for various kind of government exams and other. अब उन्होंने भी टेबल चेयर खरीद लिया. अब बोलते केशव जी हमने भी खरीद लिया है. क्या फायदा है? You have wasted so much time. सीरियस स्टडी करना चाहते हो, buy a table and chair. That's the minimum investment that you should make if you do not have made till now. So fold mountains. These are simply a force is acting on the earth's surface, and because of that a fold is being created. So earth का surface है, उस पे force लग रहा है, वो ऐसा bend हो गया. Then there are block mountains, also called as fault mountains. Block mountains is important to understand. देखो यहाँ क्या हो रहा है? In fold mountains, the pressure is acting horizontally to the surface. Fold mountains में आप horizontal pressure लगा रहे हो. In faults or in block mountains, क्या होगा? A complete block of earth will either sink down or will go up. So ये वाला part क्या हो रहा है? ये break होके, look at this arrow which is going down. This part is this part of the earth, this piece of earth is going down. And when it is going down, it's also creating a lateral pressure on this part to go up. जैसे कि ये थोड़ा सा लोगों को समझने में दिक्कत होती है. आई हैव सीन स्टूडेंट्स गेटिंग कंफ्यूज विद दिस कि ये कैसे हो रहा है कि कुछ ऊपर जा रहा है कुछ नीचे जा रहा है. You fill a jar of, or you just imagine there is a jar of balls, small rubber or plastic balls in a jar. If you will push one ball, what will happen? The other ball will try to move up or not? साइड से ऊपर उठेगा नहीं उठेगा? उठेगा ना? So this is the same process which is acting here. Those who know a little bit of more physics, this is for those who do not understand any physics, simple to understand. This is going up, creating pressure upon the other sides to go. This is going down, creating pressures upon others to go up. जिनको physics पता है, you can make pressure diagrams here because of these slopes. You can make a चार्ट की भाई किधर हो, जिन्होंने एचसी वर्मा ठीक से पढ़ी होगी उनको वो डायरेक्शन में पता चल जाएगा कि हाउ अ कंपोनेंट ऑफ दिस विल फोर्स दिस अप. नहीं समझ में आ रहा है? ये बॉल और इसका एग्जांपल याद रखो. दिस वन इज गोइंग डाउन, द अर्थ सरफेस इज लिमिटेड, इट विल पुश अदर्स पार्ट्स अप. द अप पार्ट इज नोन एज हॉस्ट, द डाउन पार्ट इज ग्रेबन. ठीक है. Austin Gravel. Now, some examples of fold mountains first. देखो, in the world, most of the highest mountains, high mountains are fold mountains. Himalayan and Alps are young fold mountains. Young fold mountains का मतलब क्या है? कि these mountains have been formed very recently, and some of them are still growing. Their height is increasing. So these are young fold mountains with rugged relief and high conical peaks. ये जो high conical height देखते हैं cone shaped, देखो यहाँ पे in block mountains you will not find cones. Because ये तो simple एक part नीचे चला गया एक part ऊपर चला गया. So you will not find cones. But as you saw in your tablecloth, it will create cones. So high conical peaks. Aravalli in India is one of the oldest fold mountain systems in the world. Now this is interesting. Aravalli is one of the oldest in the world, and Aravalli does not have high peaks. अरावली के कोनिकल पीक्स ऐसे नहीं दिखते हैं और उतने ज्यादा हाइट पे नहीं दिखते हैं, बिकॉज दिस इज सो ओल्ड दैट मेनी ऑफ इट्स पीक्स हैव बीन इरोडेड बाय द विंड और एयर. विदरिंग अवे ऑफ अर्थ सरफेस इज कॉल्ड इरोजन. तो क्या हुआ है, इनका जो ऊपर का पोर्शन है वो विदर्ड हो गया है अरावली में, बट इट्स स्टिल the nature of the mountain is fold mountain. The Appalachians in the northern America and Ural mountains in Russia have rounded features and low elevation. They are very old fold mountains. तो अरावली के पीरियड का क्या है? Appalachians and Ural mountains. So Appalachian, Ural and Aravalli are old, whereas Himalayas and Alps are young. Block mountains क्या होगा? लार्ज एरिया टूटेगा और वर्टिकली डिस्प्लेस होगा. अप पार्ट इज हॉस्ट एंड द लोअर पार्ट इज ग्रेबन. इसका बेस्ट एग्जांपल है राइन वैली एंड वॉस्किस माउंटेन्स इन यूरोप. We'll see the map. Rhine, Black Forest Mountains या Black Forest Mountains बोलते हैं, Black Valley. Rhine is a river which flows through Germany. There you will find this kind of a mountain, the Rhine Valley. And what's this mountain? Now you have to locate this on map as well. Send me the pictures if you are doing this. NCERT भी यही कह रहा है. Now volcanic mountains are formed due to volcanic activity. Mount Kilimanjaro and Mount Fujiyama in Japan. Now this is not going into details of how volcanic mountains are formed, but we will read it in great detail. कि volcanoes कैसे बनते हैं. For now it's just to understand that this is Earth's surface and suddenly there will be a volcanic emotion. A volcano will come, and with that a lot of fluid and lava and magma will come out and it will consolidate here. It will spread out slowly and will create a kind of mountain after solidification. इनको भी मैप पे लोकेट करना है. Mountains are storehouse of the water. Glaciers हमने देख लिया. ये अच्छा एक लाइन है कि माउंटेन स्टोर हाउस ऑफ द वाटर है. River valleys and terraces are ideal for the cultivation of crops. Mountains से हमें क्या फायदा है? The mountains create river valleys. Now river valleys are mountains are eroded by the flowing water and it leads to, जैसे कि एक mountain है, यहाँ पे पानी बहना शुरू हो और धीरे धीरे वहां पे गड्ढा बना देता है. So these are valleys. We will read about them in detail again. In these valleys, different kind of crops can be grown. These places are rich in flora and fauna. Flora is plants, fauna is animals. So different kind of plants and animals are found in these regions. In valleys and terraces. Terraces, mountain ऐसा है. Now some mountains have this step-like structure. ये जो step है, देखो, if it is a flat slope like this, nothing will grow here. This will be barren. But if there is terrace structure like this, the soil will be stored on these part of the mountains, and here the things can grow. So this is it. अभी ये बस इतना वोल्केनो के लिए समझ लो कि there is a magma. This map is very good. You can try to draw it on by your hand. Magma builds up here under the enormous pressure. ये क्या हो रहा है? यहाँ पे magma build हो रहा है and it's creating a lot of pressure. Because of when this pressure becomes too high, it starts moving up. And then it comes out in the form of lava. तो क्या समझना है? मैग्मा एंड लावा में डिफरेंस समझ लो. मैग्मा is when this fluid is inside the earth's surface. When magma comes out, it becomes lava. So what we see on the surface is lava. So sometime it will come up with huge cloud of steam, volcanic ash and gases. यहाँ से सब कुछ निकलेगा, भाप निकलेगा, धुआं निकलेगा और गैस निकलेगा. Lava bombs निकलते हैं. Some rocks will also come out and it falls very far off. This leads to a lot of damage to property and life. Some of these molten lavas will slide down. So molten rocks flowing down the slide is called as lava. And the volcanic core is composed of the layers of ashes and lava. ये volcanic core में क्या है? बहुत सारे layers हैं. जैसे कि actually क्या हो रहा है? If you try to understand this map clearly or figure clearly, first it would have been a very small region, a magma chamber. It would have collapsed and the lava would have flown. So this yellowish part that you are seeing is the lava and ashes. So it would have flown and solidified. After a few years again, the volcano would have bursted again, and it would have led to deposition of other layer of mountain. Then again other layer after a couple of years. After then again, the volcanic immersion will keep happening, and the height of the mountain will keep on increasing, and that's why you will see this kind of a structure. ये clear है? Palak is saying again. क्या again, Palak? Kishore is asking what force will act on the land to move downward in block mountains. Mainly gravitational forces. Mainly gravitational forces will act. Sometime some other forces like some lateral movement, horizontal movement हो रहा है, साथ साथ थोड़ा सा vertical भी हो जाता है. Mountains provide an idyllic site for the tourist. Ideal है, लोग उधर जाके आराम करते हैं, घूमते हैं. So tourism के लिए mountains are important. Now plateaus. A plateau is an elevated flat land. As we read, hills, if not very high, and if the steeps are not very slopes are not very steep, will form plateaus. It's a table land. ऊपर का जो एरिया है ना, ये इमेज देखो, it's a flat table. Actually there is a table mountain. तुम लोगों ने शायद सुना भी होगा. Let's see this. This is in Africa, South Africa. It looks wonderful. And when the clouds comes, वो पूरा ऐसा लग रहा है ना टेबल की तरह एकदम. It's a table and people can sit on the corners and have a lunch or dinner. And when the cloud comes, this table mountain, it looks like that there is a tablecloth on this mountain. So so these mountains or these plateaus are table lands standing above the surrounding area. इसका एक मेन फीचर क्या है कि it may have one or more slides with steep slopes. Mountain में you have slopes but they are not that steep. Plateaus में क्या होगा कि एक ना एक साइड एकदम वो almost 90 degree angle पे खड़ा होगा. So if this is your earth surface, a plateau will at least have one phase like this, or like the table mountain, it can have two phases from both sides. It can be steep. It can have three phases from which it is steep. But एक तो होगा. This can be from few hundreds to several thousand meters high. We have the Deccan Plateau here in south, which is one of the oldest plateaus. Now the Deccan Plateau height is very less. ये पता भी नहीं चलता कि you are in a plateau region. So almost it has become very similar to the height of the normal surface. We will see the reason. वैसे ही अफ्रीका में है प्लेट्यू, ईस्ट अफ्रीकन प्लेट्यू, तंजानिया, उगांडा में. Western Plateau of Australia are good examples. Now try to locate all these. Tibetan Plateau जो highest plateau है, इसको बोलते हैं the roof of the world. Pamir Plateau के नाम से भी जानते हैं. The Tibetan Plateau is the highest plateau and the height is about 4,000 to 600 meter high. So this plateau is even higher than many of the mountains as well. इनका मेन फीचर क्या है? They are rich in mineral deposits. So many of you might have tried to remember the names of different minerals found in different regions and it becomes very tricky. हम जब करेंगे तो देखेंगे कि actually to find mineral deposits, first thing you can do is you find the location of plateaus in the world, because most of the mineral deposits are in plateaus. So like in the Deccan area, we find many kind of minerals, caves, the gold mines, a plateau region. छत्तीसगढ़ में या मध्य प्रदेश में या उड़ीसा में मिल रहा है वो सब मोस्टली प्लेट्यू रीजन है. So many of the mining areas in the world are located in plateau areas. African plateau में we got gold and diamond mining. India also has huge reserves of iron, gold and manganese found in Chota Nagpur plateau. Try to locate this in the map. We will discuss about this in class 11th. प्लेट्यूज में बहुत सारे वाटरफॉल भी होते हैं लाइक हुंडरस वाटरफॉल एंड जॉग वाटरफॉल. हुंडरस इज ऑन स्वर्ण रेखा रिवर, तो इसको लोकेट कर लेना है मैप में. लावा प्लेट्यूज आर रिच इन ब्लैक सॉइल. देखो ब्लैक सॉइल का क्या है, those who are from Maharashtra and all, you know the color of the soil is black because they are formed from the lavas which came out and have solidified. देखेंगे इसके बारे में. Then we have plains. Plains are simply large stretch of flat land. देखो generally the population of UP, Bihar is very high. One of the most important reason for this कि बिहार यूपी वालों को बच्चे पैदा करने में बहुत मजा आता है. That's not the case. The reason is कि in plain areas it's easy to survive. The chances of survival is high. The life is easier. The production is much better. The soil is very fertile. And that's why in these regions we find thickly populated areas. So you go anywhere in the plains and you'll find very high population density. When you will see the map of China, it looks so big. But all of its population lives in the fertile plains. इस एरिया में तो 10% लोग भी नहीं हैं. Highly concentrated population on the western sides in the fertile plains. So some of these plains in India we have Ganga and Brahmaputra plain, and in China they have Yangtze plain. These plains are created by rivers. क्या होता है generally? Rivers are flowing. With that they carry a lot of silt and they deposit those silts. So plains are basically डिपोजिशनल लैंड फॉर्म्स. डिपोजिशन के चलते बना है, थोड़ा थोड़ा डिपॉजिट करते करते. These are fertile soils and most suitable for human habitation. Landform on the people. इधर कुछ ज्यादा नहीं है अपने को. rope bridge, you might have heard about these, how people in Arunachal Pradesh creates bridges. And sometimes these are naturally created by the plants. कुछ लोगों ने देखा भी होगा. So that's the end of this chapter. Let's take a break. We'll come back and start Indian geography. So we'll see the features of India. We will see the mountains of India. We will see the division of Himalaya that Divya was saying. And then we see the very important chapter. बहुत लोग बहुत confuse करते हैं इस chapter में, which is related to environment. So this will be your building block for the environment, क्योंकि यहाँ नहीं समझ में आएगा तो environment समझना बहुत मुश्किल है. Mountain का division ही समझना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है. So let's catch up at 3 p.m. again on the same link. If you have any question, you can come prepare and you can ask me there. Shoshu में जिनका interest है, I'm again saying, please let me know. Bye. See you at 3. ठीक है?